Welcome back. I'd say ladies and gentlemen, but I'm assuming it is probably just gentlemen, not being sexist there. But to be honest, I can't imagine many females who listen to this. Anyway, it's episode 3 of the podcast. This week we're talking about in the news and merch. Well, the news and the merch, that's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? The topic, we're going to talk about sort of title music, favourite stuff and that, that kind of thing. Hopefully be interested in that. If not, well, tough shit. We're also going to be talking about Rise of Cybermen Age of Steel. I've got a few things just quickly want to touch on before we get into this podcast. Why is this one a bit late? Purely on the basis that all three of us could not get together at some point of the weekend. Me and Lennon tried it on Saturday. We tried again Sunday. Just nothing happened. So, we really struggled to get together. So it's amazing that this episode's even going to come out. But it is also saying that you should suggest the episode ideas. Yeah and no, because we came up with a problem because we thought, brilliant idea, yeah, they tell us what to review and we review it, we don't have to decide on anything. Then we realised, what if we don't like the option? And that's what happened, because I don't like Battlefield, and that was suggested in the comments by our friend Dan. And I just thought, oh, not Battlefield. These two were like, oh yeah, Battlefield. And I said, no, I'm not, I really, I can't be, I don't want to have to watch it. So we decided on the episode, which we'd already settled on if no one had said anything. So that's what you'll be hearing the review of today. But, that's... So you can still suggest episodes and we'll consider them, I think is the word. Not do them. That's probably... Because otherwise we end up saying, you know what I mean? You know what we're trying to say. Anyway, that was that. And was there anything else I had to say? Oh, yeah. I said in the comments of the last episode that one was a bit more laid back, a bit silly, we were having a laugh. And the one before that, a bit more serious. We're trying to make some good Doctor Who content. And it turns out there's going to be a third version because we've had a bit of an argument beforehand of this, quite a big one with big words, starting with F and ending in K, or S. Well, you know what I mean. We've had a bit of an argument, but we need to record this, so it's fallen well, that argument for us. It's fallen very well. So, yeah, we don't hate each other. Just a bit of... No, we fucking hate each other at this point. But anyway, we want to get this out. We've taken the piss now. We still haven't got it out. I'm hoping you're hearing this and it's Monday. If this is Tuesday, I can only apologise. This isn't the plan. We want to get them out Sundays. Anyway, I think that about does it. So, oh yeah, also, one more thing. Music in this is going to be chosen by me, then next episode Lennon, then Alfie, then me again. If you like that idea, say. If you don't like that idea, say. I think we're still going to do it anyway, but I kind of want to know what people think. And yeah, I just want to say as well, no, I'm not a devil worshipper before you say what the fuck's our music. It's just some good music. Anyway, that about does it, and cue some of the music. So it is news. We have 3 things to talk about. We have Wheel and Macra, Walls, and Pregnant Men.
Pregnant Men.
It's going to be an interesting one, this. Anyway, of course, Wheel and Macra first. We've had more sort of confirmation that they're going to happen with a listing on... What website was it, Lennon?
Amazon.
Yeah. For the Wheel in Space, which to me says more likely, that one's first, and that it's going to happen. Now, of course, this isn't concrete because the BBC haven't said it yet. But what my question is, surely the BBC would have said, no, this isn't happening, if it wasn't. And, that's what makes me believe it. I mean, Wheel in Space is the one I preferred out of the 2, and I'd love to have it as a DVD on the shelf and not just a printed out thing, if that's what I wish to do, but I don't print covers up because they look shit. Not the covers, just printing stuff out for me. But yeah, also it's listed as region 1 only. We've had some right fuckwits going, well, that means we're not getting it. Why not? And it's like, use your fucking brain.
I'm gonna laugh if we actually don't get it. And Luke's just been proven wrong there.
No, because my logic is, well, look at the Tom Baker season 1 was announced as only America, and then all of a sudden, well, I've got it on my shelf. So there you go. And even if it isn't, we'll just still import it. And I've got a region 3 DVD player, so Don't bother me.
Mhm.
Anyway, what do you think about this, Alfie?
Personally, I'm happy that we're going to get the Wheel in Space, because it's the last Cyberman story we need to have animated to experience all the Cybermen stories that are out there currently. The Wheel in Space design, it's one of my favourite designs of the teardrop design, and the wires on the hands, again, as Luke said earlier, it makes them look more human. I quite like that we're, like, Wheel in Space and the Macra Terror are my type of stories, because I know some missing episodes I'm not going to like the Smugglers, whereas others like the Celestial Tourmaker, the Macra Terror, the Wheel in Space I'm going to enjoy because they're quite fun. And I've watched episode 1 of Macra Terror, which has really got me excited for the episode to be animated, because it's meant, what I've saw, it's quite, you know, like, mysterious. I'll say that. From what I've saw, I want to watch more, and I'm excited for it to be animated. And well, it hasn't been confirmed, but you know, I think
Well, none of it's been confirmed, to be fair, but
it's slightly been confirmed. It hasn't been fully confirmed, but it's partly been confirmed.
It's a bit thing. Daily Mail says Wheel in Space. People are saying Wheel in Space. There's a listing for the Wheel in Space. It's a bit sort of like, they seem to be interlocking a little. But I'd say if the BBC say nothing by sort of September, maybe.
Well, it hasn't been confirmed, but you know, I think.
Well, none of it's been confirmed, to be fair, but
it's slightly been confirmed. It hasn't been fully confirmed, but it's partly been confirmed.
It's a bit thing. Daily Mail says Wheel in Space. People are saying Wheel in Space. There's a listing for the Wheel in Space. It's a bit sort of like, they seem to be interlocking a little. But I'd say if the BBC say nothing by sort of September, maybe start.
I want to see Macra Terror because it looks quite good. I'm excited about the animation. I love animation, and to see it visually will be quite good and not just telesnaps or dodgy CGI. And what do you think of it, Lennon?
Obviously, more animations the better, and you know, to have too much trout in DVDs is always great, because if this is true, that means
because he likes Troughton too much.
We'll only need 6 more stories to be released. And I'm glad this year, if it is true, they're doing more of the underappreciated stories, because Wheel in Space has been rumoured for the past few years, and it'd be nice to have the final 60 Cybermen story. The Macra Terror thing is quite an underrated one, and I think the Macra would look cool in animation, probably better than the ones in the surviving clips, even though I think they're alright.
Because he likes Troughton too much.
Yes, look, forget it. But he's not as good as John Perry. And I like it because how Power and Shadow have done very well. I like how they're, you know, sort of putting 2 extra episodes on it this year and 4 stories. So yeah, and with the Amazon listing, again, with it being Region 1, it, you know, these pricks saying, oh, why is it in the UK and that? Well, it will probably be in the UK anyway, so yeah, I've gotten really nothing else to say other than I'm happy if it is getting animated.
Well, there we go. Anyway, now let's move on to some walls. There's been a picture of supposedly the new TARDIS wall interiors. Now, I've not seen this picture yet. So would you two like to talk about it? Lennon, have you found it?
No, not yet. Still looking for it.
Shit.
They're very.
It's been removed off
couple-like.
Twitter.
Describe them to me, Alfie. Describe them
Okay,
to
it's
me.
fair
Go on.
game.
They look like the Invasion of Time walls, but in bronze. There you go.
Right. They are bronze-like. They're not like the Invasion of Time, because I don't think they look like gears.
So are they like the 12th Doctor's title sequence on a wall?
I bet.
It does. They're not gears though. They're like right. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, is it's a podcast. I'm currently drawing Luke a little interpretation of what
Which
it
will
looks
appear
like.
on screen.
The
finished drawing will appear on screen.
I've got to save it.
Yeah, you just save it.
This is a lot of work. Okay, so.
Oh, it's your fault. We're fucking
This
doing
is,
it. Anyway,
this is what I can remember. This is like. Oh,
just a black dot. Wait, what?
it's not just a black dot. Let me finish the drawing. Right, I don't.
It was round.
I don't remember much of it, but I remember it being like.
Oh, I'm glad I'm trusted my faith in the right. But you've joined the yin and yang thing now. It's got a face.
So
It's a Picasso. This is.
Oh my god, it's not a face. I don't know how it turned out as a face. 1 minute. It sort of looks like
It's shiny now.
right them on the walls.
Oh right, okay.
Like, sort of them all over the walls, and then you have like,
all over the walls, pretty much.
and then we
From Back
have.
to the Future.
Well, we don't see like much of it, but we see that the TARDIS doors are like indented in the wall.
I'm worried why you've gone to pink.
Right.
It's
So-
not pink.
The photo we have
It's not
is-
pink walls.
is of it's not pink. I'm gonna draw Jodie. The photo we have is
Oh, right.
Jodie standing in front of the TARDIS
Julia's
doors,
a bird at the moment.
but but the TARDIS, instead of it being flat, it sort of goes inwards.
Oh, is it like a bit like the Daypole toy if you messed around with it?
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Sorta.
flat, but it goes inwards, and then you have the doors. So you've got a little room where the doors are.
Oh, so it's like if the electronic toy is connected to the playsets, that kind of thing. So the electronic.
Yes. That's
Right.
exactly how I would visualise it.
We'll save that drawing then so people can see.
Should I put clothes on the Jodie?
It's a bird more than anything, but alright.
Okay, let me just put a t-shirt on her.
Oh yeah, I can't really give my opinion on it. So is it okay then?
It's.
Would you say?
It does. We can't give any opinions on it because it's only a wall.
Mm.
Like, I don't care about the coral walls. I care about the console and the 9th and 10th Doctor
Yeah.
TARDIS.
See, I'm the other way around. I don't really care for the console. It's the console. It's the room I like in the 10th Doctor and the 9th and 10th. I think it looks nice because it's my TARDIS console room, you know, as a kid. So, but yeah, I think as long as we don't have, because everyone says they like the one that's been used recently. I fucking hate it. I think it's the worst one we've ever had.
I like just classic white roundels. Well, I
Yeah,
shouldn't
well,
call
yeah,
them roundels.
Not- it
Well,
will
they are
it will
roundels.
never match the classic one because it changed a bit, but the premise of it, white walls, white console, you know. You've got the 80s one, the 70s and the 60s one, but they're all pretty similar, especially the 70s and 80s one. Just the console is
I
different.
think the 80s, they got it perfect.
Oh, yeah, McCoy's in season 26 is a work of art.
It is magnificent, even though in like Battlefield it's really lowly lit, but
Oh, well,
Mhm.
that's another reason why we didn't watch Battlefield. Anyway, now on to pregnant men. Now, they haven't told me this. Well, they have. They've just told me that apparently there's going to be a man going to give birth in the new series.
I don't know if
And,
we're going to see the
Well, how we
picture,
don't-
like the video of him
No,
giving birth, but
no.
we see a photo, like a promotion image of a man with a pregnant stomach, and then the next photo is him holding a baby. So I'm guessing he's went through childbirth.
You know what this tells me? This is fucking political correctness gone way too fucking far.
Oh, trust me, like.
This is a
So this is an intermission because the next few clips have Luke's opinions and he's told me to censor them, as you'll see next. So a censor bleeps are just some very out there opinions. So I'll let you get back to the podcast. This is Ed and Alfie out.
strong thing to say, but in all honesty, yeah. I don't want my sci-fi television program being. It's pathetic. Using my fucking program to put.
To do free fans and many fandoms, they were like, yeah, let's make it child friendly and beep out all the swearing. Thanks, Lou.
But she's like, why? It's Doctor Who. It's not. Fucking bitch. Anyway, moving on. Let's just have a beep noise throughout this entire thing so people are like, what did he say?
And they'll never know. And you're probably hearing this right now as you're listening it, and you will never know what Luke said. If you want to know what he said, how about you spend £1 on our Patreon and we'll give you an uncut version.
So, anyway, that's my opinion. Alfie, what do you think about men getting pregnant?
Just, how did he get pregnant? Like, where did the juices go? Was it insemination? Where is it going to come out of? What hole? Like, is it going to be like,
Dogging.
is it going to
Dogging.
rip it open? Is it a woman turning into a man
Dogging.
and she was pregnant before?
Dogging.
He's ginger, so is it
Dogging.
Lennon?
Dogging.
Anyway, they're my opinions. Lennon,
Dogging.
tell me about your childbirth.
Dogging. Dogging.
Well,
Luke,
dogging.
shut up about dogging. And don't search that what that is, children.
If you don't know what dog it is, it's
No, Here's Luke
Alfie.
slightly hurting his foot, and yet acting like he's in the Vietnam War. There's too many profanity being flung around this studio.
I've got a fucking chunk the size of Thailand out my arm.
You got a chunk of Thailand out your ass.
The size of Thailand, not actual fucking Thailand.
It just ripped out your ass. Oh, I wonder where that went. Oh my god, my nan's down there. Quickly, get her out.
Why is my nan in Thailand?
I don't know. Your nan's Thailandian.
We should make a Too Hot for TV bonus DVD.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
Family
making
Guy.
DVDs.
Yeah.
Sign £10 to our Patreon and get the full DVD of Series 1.
I'll sell them on my eBay for like £4 each.
Yeah.
Actually, the only person you know who's going to buy is back. Also, I'm going to beat that name out so people are going to be like, who did he say? Was it me? I'm going to buy it, but was it me? That's going to make people want to buy it more, and then we can...
Editing Alfie, make sure you put us all in good lights in this editing.
I know. If you buy one, if we actually sell one, put your name on, we'll be like, yes, it was you we're talking about, and now you earn an extra one.
Well, first of all, I don't get why. Yeah, equality and all that shit, but it's just...
Equality.
It's not even that.
I
It's
know.
not even that.
He said
This has got fuck
equality.
all to do with equal pay.
I don't know where that come
Equality.
from. I think
Did he
it's
say
just a man
equality?
getting pregnant. He said
Did he
equality.
say- did he-
I don't know what he said, but it wasn't English.
I don't see why it's needed, to be particular honest. I think it's quite stupid. Could make the series absolutely dreadful. It could make it brilliant, even though I completely doubt it. I don't. Why do we need this? Why now do we need this in a sci-fi program? I really don't get it. When I first saw it, I thought it was fake. I didn't even know it was part of Doctor Who. I just thought, oh, some guy pretending to be pregnant. But then I was actually told, oh shit, it is going to be in Doctor Who, which I'm very concerned about. But yeah, just it's so fucking stupid. It's pointless. It's not needed. I'm just, the more the news comes out now, the more I'm losing hope for the new series. But the TARDIS walls look decent, but that's about it.
I think that's the end of the news segment. So I'll see you in the merchandise segment, and Luke will play his music. Don't know what it's going to be.
So we're on merch now. Yeah, been a bit of a slow one for merch. Nothing really interesting. We've got one thing we're going to talk about of why the fuck does it need to exist, and that is the Class soundtrack on CD and vinyl.
Which also comes with a limited edition CD, but I'm pretty sure it's the actual CD.
Who the actual fuck wants this? Now, Doctor Who soundtracks for series that no one really cares about makes sense because they've got to release the Doctor Who soundtrack. It's the Doctor Who soundtrack. They've done it since 2006 now with the new series. It's fair enough.
The cover's quite funky though. I quite like the cover.
Who the hell wants this?
Me. No, it's not. There's like Host Productions collects bloody LPs, doesn't it? And he's quite a cool guy, so you know it might be cool.
Well, yeah, well, I collect vinyl and that, but I wouldn't collect it because this. I wouldn't take this unit for free. I'd burn it because it was terrible. Class was. It was absolutely dreadful.
The second episode was the only one I actually quite enjoyed.
I couldn't. After the second one, I just thought I really can't be arsed with this. This is just dreadful. I tried to watch the third one. I just thought I can't do it. And the fact, if it was just audio CD, I'd let it slide. You know, because well, I guess if they would want to release something, but vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell wants this on fucking vinyl?
And here's a question: why do we have this soundtrack? Where's the Sarah Jane soundtrack, which I've been waiting for ages?
I mean, that could possibly exist, but I'd rather have that on vinyl now, or the Torchwood soundtrack on vinyl.
No, there was when I went to the convention, the Attic, which I was pretty lucky to go to. They had an auction.
Which was a year ago recently. If
I know.
those who don't know.
There's they had an auction of like screen use props, the original Sonic lipstick, like, and like stuff that weren't released. And one of them was the Sarah Jane soundtrack, because the man who made the soundtrack was there, and he put the actual original soundtrack that was meant to be released but wasn't, and it was a bit of a prototype onto auction. I was gonna bid for it, but then I thought loads of people got to bid for it. No one bid for it, and it just got given away, which annoyed me. So no, that is not soundtrack, sadly. But I think that's much better than
Right,
this.
no, I am pissed off because I had always thought, mate, I think there probably was a Sarah Jane soundtrack. Why the fuck do we have this and not a fucking Sarah Jane Adventures soundtrack?
Yeah, I don't know why. Don't ask
There
me.
must not. Was there there can't have been a Torchwood one then, can there?
Oh, there was.
Oh, there was a
Agreed.
Torchwood one.
I'm pretty sure you can still get it now.
Well, that's fine, but where's the Sarah Jane Adventures one then?
Yeah. Where's the Canon Company one then?
Exactly. I know, honestly, if they released that soundtrack as a single, I'd buy that.
Or the spin-off soundtracks, that would be funky. I wouldn't mind that.
You know,
Maybe if they'd done a whole collection of spin-off soundtracks, and that could at least be included in a few, like...
you could have 2 discs for Torchwood because it's quite a lot. You could have 2 discs for Sarah Jane, and then 1 disc for random stuff like Canaan and Company.
Yeah.
Maybe some good BBV stuff that they did.
Maybe some of the more than 30 years in the Tyson VHS Latin theme. That sort of thing.
Yeah,
that'd be
you know, those kind of things. Little
Here's-
bits, stuff that people care about, not this.
Here's the soundtrack. It was released in 2008. If you didn't know, and I'm talking about the Tortured one. I don't know why I've just brought that up, but yeah.
Well, there we go. We really can't see the point in this at all. If you're going to buy this, explain why. Because honestly, I don't know anyone who liked it so much that they loved the music. Because I couldn't even. I don't think if you even played with the music, I'd say what it was, because it'd be like it wasn't memorable.
Yeah.
I can't believe they finished with doing the box of it either.
Now, talking of useless things that not many people want and are very angry about, should we move on to current Jodie merch?
They've done some alright stuff. 1 T-shirt with just her normal face looks fine. They've done fucking kawaii shirts and a fucking kawaii hoodie.
And kawaii figures that have been announced.
More. Who cares about them? Why do they exist?
I know. But one Jodie merch that I'm quite alright about is the calendar. Because the actual Doctor Who classic calendar looks so bad, right? So,
Well, it's got Tombside men for the first Doctor.
I know. It's so, and I'm pretty sure there's some more inaccuracies. We have literally the same image of every Doctor, which we basically had last year. We have the night of the Doctor 8th. We have the 4th Doctor from Pyramids. Literally, the only good ones probably 2 from 3 Doctors, which is different. Which I am outraged with this calendar because it's basically the same as the last one.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, whereas the Jodie one, we got new photos, new promo images, and it looks so much better.
But to me, my days of buying Doctor Who calendars have pretty much gone now. I'm always with something else that I have interest in.
I just get one every year from my nan because she always gets me. It's that and the annual, which I know is like not that good, but I still get it. But
That's fair enough.
it's just.
I think the last annual I got was like the last Matt Smith one, maybe.
But this is just a ban. I'm not even gonna spend time trying to figure out how to say it.
Let's not waste time on it. It doesn't deserve our time.
Yeah, also, can we mention, before we stop mentioning things, Hartnell's head on that head, and also why are all the, like, bodies of the Doctors, like, stenciled out? It makes no sense at all. I am outraged. I know it's a calendar, but it is a crap calendar. Like, ugh. Now, I think we should move on to
In more interesting
figures.
stuff to do with the 13th Doctor, there's going to be a limited edition Roger Hargreaves hardcover for Doctor 13,
And
which is the only decent thing that appears to be coming out of that and the figurine collection, 128 and 129, but we've known about them for ages.
But we have more figures coming out, which is the B&M figures, which are coming out this Monday, which we haven't talked about on this podcast, I don't think.
No, on the podcast. Me and Lennon were talking about this for a while. Our plan is to get just the 2 classic ones and then get the new series ones for Christmas. Because the new series ones, the Matt Smith one will be like the 9th Doctor. This It won't
Yeah.
sell that much. It will sell more than the Ninth Doctor because it is new figures still. But it's not going to be snatched up like the Munster set was
exactly.
last year.
So-
Yeah, I think
The only set that I'm not excited for is the 11th Doctor one, because it's basically the Impossible set with an Amy Pond figure, which is at least new.
I don't have the Impossible set, and I'm more excited for that one, the Capaldi set, because although we don't have a bill,
Yeah, but the
don't
Capaldi
care.
set you have, but it's basically the series 9/10 set, which adds figures to that area. Because
Yeah.
most of that is 3.75 inch, and no one wants that.
well, yeah, it's fair enough. I'm not saying that any sets are bad. I think this year they're really good because they all have new figures in. There are no straight re-releases.
They all have their problems, but at least it's new
Yeah.
5-inch figures, and I think that's absolutely fantastic.
And can I just say the classic set this year? No one was expecting to do any of those three, but thank God they did.
Oh, that Talons, like Lennon pointed out. If you want to say what the problems are, Lennon.
Well, the
Here we
boots.
go.
They don't bother me. It's just that I didn't notice this until recently. The boots, which are just the Carnival Monsters Pertwee, they've used grey paint to paint over it because they wore shoes in the story.
Yeah.
It does give the effect, but it is always when his legs, it's a sculpt for boots, and it's no longer
You can
trousers.
always stand it down if it annoys you, though.
But we
Yeah.
don't know if that's the one that they're going to use.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the Pert, we had the collar thing, but we now know you'll have the open shirt. So
And the Auton, well, we don't know what we're getting with that.
it shouldn't have the scarf. The molds exist without the scarf because obviously Captain Jack is what it's based on.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny we're kind of getting two Captain Jack bodies in that set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a very good body.
Well,
Well, not in that way, but for
what are you trying to say,
reusing.
Alfie?
Well, John Barrowman, but let's move on from that. We're getting more TARDISes, which may open the market to like 2nd, 5th, 6th Doctor's TARDISes with little variations.
All I heard there was second of that I'm interested in. I'm just like,
Yeah.
we want to. Because I believe all the sculpts exist for the TARDISes now.
Yeah,
There's
they
not
do.
I want them to re-release the 6th one though, so basically I can put it one next to the 7th Doctor because they're practically the same
Yeah.
thing.
The TARDISes will sell a lot because it's one of those things that a lot of people have stuff that not many people have the TARDISes because they are
Mhm.
so
They're so
expensive on
fucking
eBay.
It's
They
so
are
fucking rare.
200 to 100 quid, and no one likes them that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather buy the Genesis set and have 20, 30 quid left over.
Exactly.
So I'm happy we're getting a Pertwee to finally hold that Time Monster gadget that apparently Roger Delgado had.
For me, Joe Grant's holding it now because she did hold it at some point. But yeah, it belongs in Pertwee's hands.
Yeah.
I've seen people just give it to random Pertwees, and my brain goes, right, you make a choice. Delgado has it, goes on the floor, or Joe Grant has it. Don't fuck around.
For me,
I can tell you a few more things Luke likes to has in Pertwee's hands.
Yeah,
Oh,
screwdrivers.
oh,
Screwdrivers.
your sonic screwdriver. But let's move
Well,
on
there's-
from that.
The one that he comes packaged with. That's even worse, isn't it?
So, have we got any more stuff on the B&M set? Well, I just want to say that what pictures we're seeing we might not be getting because they're just promos. Lennon told me...
There's two different pictures of each
Yeah,
thing, though.
there's two versions of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Alfie?
I have certain pictures that I prefer. I prefer the 3 sets as the second version of the pictures, but the first version of the Third Doctor and TARDIS looks better with the freely open shirt.
Yeah.
Let's trust character and B&M to not fuck this up.
They're
Yeah.
really
Let's see
not
what
doing
happens
anything.
in a couple of days' time.
Because with the new company coming in to run the character auction figures, this is basically going to be a swan song now for character.
Yeah.
If it is, what a way to go out.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. So, shall we end the merchandise section here and move along to the topic?
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Yeah, we are doing the topic, which is title sequences and themes. This part is going to be ranking each theme We are sort of just classing the main ones, so when there is a major difference, so we're not doing the 2 Voyage of the Damned ones, it is the 1 Voyage of the Damned one. You get what we're saying. We're going to do this list together. We're going to each say our ideas, and then we'll rank each spot together personally, and then we're going to each say our personal favourite theme, and then we'll move on to title sequences and that lovely jubbly stuff. So, anyway, the worst theme, in my opinion, for me, is going to be Peter Capaldi's theme. And I'm willing to defend that point because I think it is boring as hell.
I don't mind it. I think it. Right, Peter Capaldi had his. After the guitar theme, like his Under the Lake one. Or was it Before the Flood? And
Before the flood.
I thought it had a nice little thing going for it, but it is one of the worst. Like lesser better ones because I don't like a theme. But for me, it's got to be Series 7 Part 2 because it just feels really. To be honest, I don't remember the theme. It's not memorable.
I don't remember it either, but all I'm thinking is that is the 50th anniversary year theme.
I don't remember it. It just seems so, like, forgettable. Matt Smith for me is his Series 5 to Series 7 Part 1 theme.
Yeah. I think either way, these are going to be the bottom 2.
Yeah. So, personally, 13 I think should be Series 7 Part 2.
Agreed.
It's right, actually, at least I can remember the Capaldi one, but I can't remember Series 7B, and I've watched those episodes. I watched them live and I've watched them since, so...
So, should we take a vote, or should we just decide?
You know what, alright, I'll back down and I'll say that above that Capaldi's is a little better than 7B.
So, at number 13, then it's Series 7B. Now, moving on, we have the 12 spot, which I, again, think should go to 12.
Yeah,
In his intro.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yep, Series 8 is not Series 8. Number 12, we're deciding to go
Smith.
with Series 8 to 10.
Oh no, 12, yeah, 12. 11, Smith. The rest is Smith.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there, because I think there's much better ones out there.
I think it was just really, it was odd, it was rattly, it was boring, it didn't have much merit to it, there was no real memorable part other than, I guess the middle 8. The title sequence itself is dull as fuck. So, that's me.
Right. Lennon, are you agreeing or disagreeing?
What's the theme I grew up with? That's the thing, so I do like it for that reason, but I wasn't
Well,
the same.
if you want to disagree, you can disagree. That's the whole point of this. And just fucking agree with us.
For me, don't kill me, but I'm going to go for the Series 1 to 3 theme.
Really?
Really?
I find it dumb.
Convince us, because we're only doing the one list, you got out.
Oh no, I'm not.
Other than Dealer Demonstrator's baseline, and I don't find it that memorable, to be honest. I just think it gets...
Not that memorable.
That started off the show again.
I know, but I just think it just got dull as it went on.
People hate RTD, but I think a lot of people agree RTD's theme is one of the, pretty much the... It is
One of the definitives.
I prefer the second one. The Series 4 one.
I think the Series 1 to 3 one, I like to add the confidential theme with it as well. That's why I think it's really
that's
good.
A good theme.
It is such a good theme. It's so catching. I can remember it like any time.
It's like it's an underwater theme. I always remember.
Yeah.
It's defo.
Well, we ain't putting 1 to 3 at 11. I think Smith.
I think 11 should be Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go Smith then.
Right, at number 10, before we even say anything, I want to say late 4th Doctor, early 5th Doctor theme.
Oh.
I know, everyone's going to hate me for this, but
What?
I prefer late 80s themes.
I'm gonna say...
Mind what you say here as well, because I feel like one of my favourite
Doctors. Doctor, but I was thinking about it, it's a fucking good theme.
Oh, that's my... I'm not going to say what I was about to say, but, I'll reveal it at the end.
I would... No, the Voice of the Damned one's not. Definitely not 10. See, the 5th Doctor one's really nostalgic.
I just think there's better actors ones out there.
Yeah, but is it better, though, than the Voice of the Damned?
No.
Yeah. No, it's not better. Voyage the Series 4 version, you know.
All right. I don't want to. Okay, I'll agree. I'm struggling to fight a corner there.
I know. Lennon, what do you think? Do you agree?
Okay, yeah, good.
I'm glad I've persuaded you, young Padawans.
Right, number 9.
Now this is where I think the series
Voyage.
1 to 3.
You prefer Voyage over 1 to 3?
I prefer the rockin' series 4 theme, me.
Yeah, well, you're talking to fucking. Of course, I prefer a rocking theme, but we need to sort of put nostalgia into this if it is our list.
I think series 4, I think they got the intro on point there, personally.
Okay, when you hear. Right, let's say you're in a Doctor Who experience. What would you rather hear blasting through? Voyage of the Damned or new series? Or 1 to 3, I should say.
Voyage the Damned, because it's like dun 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 dun. Like yeah, well, when you don't to hear that walking anywhere, it's like really. I think it's really good. Whereas series
I'm
1
trying to
to
remember
3,
it because I haven't. Yeah.
right?
Alright,
I played a. I'll
alright,
play a
we'll do 1 to 3.
soundbite. Do you want me to play a soundbite?
No, I can remember it. All right, we'll go 1 to 3 then. We'll go 1 to 3.
I've got a feeling 1 to 3, it's good, but they didn't have it perfect. Whereas series 4, you've got that added kick to it, personally.
Well, yeah, as someone who does quite like rock music, people can probably tell from my choice of music in this. Yeah, go on then. We'll go that, and then Voyage of the Damned after.
Yeah, I think the series 4 theme is after.
Right, that's new series done.
Yeah, and we've got a classic off the list.
Right, so now the next, I'm gonna say.
First, personally.
No.
Now this is hard because I like all of these, including the 8th Doctor one. I need to have a think. I like Troughton's. I prefer Troughton's over the First Doctor's.
Yeah.
But we can't put the First Doctor's this low. That is sacrilege.
Yeah, it is.
It's
No,
either that or late 3rd, early 4th.
We can't put arguably the most iconic one. I'm gonna go.
Don't you dare say it.
I'm
Don't you...
not gonna. I don't want to go Trial because it is fucking brilliant.
No, I've got a feeling you're gonna say one of the 2 of my favourites.
I might have to go Trial.
I can't agree.
But I don't want to go. Troughton. Let's go Troughton.
What?
Well, that's the first one with the. Okay, we're not doing visual. We're doing audio, aren't we? Right, audio wise, I'm sorry, Lennon.
It's not as good as Pertwee's, but it's not as good as the First Doctor's.
Visual wise, Troughton is up there with the greats. However, audio wise, it's not that.
Yep. So he's gonna have to go there. Next, after Troughton.
Please don't do this to me.
4th.
Thank you. I'm hoping I've got 3 favourite themes. So at 7 we have Second Doctor's theme, and at 6 we have late 3rd, early 4th, and at number 5 we have
I think first.
At 5, first. That's reasonable.
Because
I agree with
although she hated them all pretty much, and it's been done better since.
Yes. So at number 5, going into our top 5 now, we have the first, and number 4. I think this is where
Troughton,
Trial.
7, and 8.
I think 3rd should go, number 4.
Nope. I think Trial. I think Trial because
Same.
yeah, it's Trial then.
I'm gonna give up on this then. I'll let Trial go 4th. At least it's near.
Now
Right.
it's Pertwee.
Right.
But he stuttered Pertwee. The dun.
Right. I'm gonna give up Trial to 4 because I really like Trial, but I can understand why. That way. Right, now here's 2 of the greatest intros.
Yes.
I think audio wise, 7th comes second.
Yeah, I do. But I think McGann's is fucking brilliant.
Because you can.
I never used to say that. I didn't even know. I couldn't really remember he had a theme. But I was listening to the Doctor Who soundtrack on my phone, the 50th anniversary, because I had it on my phone just so I could listen to Doctor Who music when I wanted to. and it came on because I shuffled it, and I was like, "What's this with the drums?" And then I'm like, "Holy shit, this is fucking
Yeah.
brilliant!"
Every time I'm watching it and that comes on, I'm like, dun dun dun. It's so good. It's some
It's
of
like a celebration for Doctor Who.
and
And it is the last classic theme, if you want to believe True Classic Who, which is 1963 to 1996, really.
Thank you.
That's the way it will always be. That's the way it
So-
was on the gravestone I made when I was a kid. That's the way it was on the Classic Doctor Who website. That's the way it shall be.
So we're agreeing that Seventh, although he's a fantastic 80s
Yeah.
lovely synthy theme, that McGann comes
You
with.
just can't beat the 90s.
Yeah, the night. Oh, it's so good. It's like I think it's a mixture of the new series theme and the classic
It's
theme.
everything that's good about the Doctor Who theme.
Yeah.
It's big, it's loud, it's got a fucking good build up with the drums.
Yeah.
Bassline melody.
It's got the melody. It is perfection.
Absolutely fantastic. So, should we go through our top 13? Just a little recap then.
Yeah, here's the recap then.
So, we have number 13, Series 7B. Number 12, Series 8 to 10. And number 11, we have the 11th Doctor's theme. At number 10, we have late 4th Doctor, early 5th Doctor. At number 9, we have Series 1 to 3. At number 8, we have Series 4, the rocking theme, as I like to call it. At number 7, we have the 2nd Doctor. Number 6, we have the 4th Doctor. Number 5, the 1st Doctor. Number 4, the trial version of the intro. Number 3, we have the 3rd Doctor. Number 2, we have my favourite Doctor's intro, the 7th Doctor. And finally, at number 1, the best intro agreed by us is the TV movie intro. So now I think we should move on to our favourite and least favourite, and well,
Actual sequences.
yeah,
So I think the worst sequence is Matt Smith's early one.
I'm not too.
It's so boring.
Can I cut that into a subcategory of Series 7B, where the Doctor Who logo was changed into different textures? Like for dinosaurs on a spaceship, dinosaurs on a spaceship with the dinosaur skin on the logo.
Oh, no.
Asylum of the Daleks with the
God,
bloody
that
baubles.
And then the wood one. The wood one.
No, the wood one I didn't mind, but all of the rest ones I don't like.
Oh.
Didn't they use like Instagram filters or something? I've heard of, I think they
I'm
do.
Isn't that
actually
Series
having a gag
7B?
reflex.
Yeah.
Series 7B, they
No,
used
no,
just
series
like.
some. No, series. Oh wait. Didn't you? No, didn't you?
Oh
just
yes, they
use
did. They did
Oh, yes.
literally use filters with the Series 5 theme.
And then for part 2, they just used images.
Yeah, and Series 7 was stock images of space.
Yeah.
Classic BBC. Anyway, so that's the worst one. And then it's just Smith. No, actually, no, you know what? No. 7B Smith title sequence. Wait, no. Are we actually going 7B then as the worst?
No, I'm going Series 5, 7,
6, yeah. 5, 6. If we go 7B is not next. What's the next worst sequence?
I don't like the 7B one. I think that should go next.
But it reintroduced the face.
Yeah, but it's a
But
bit
that's
shit.
one redeemable factor against
Yeah.
thousands of reasons why it's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can't argue that Summit's better than it, though. Actually, no, Capaldi. I want to go.
I quite like the gears.
I fucking don't. I'm like, what?
Actually, yeah, I'll put it there because in most of them, although it's a nice looking graphic sequence, some of
It's
them are
out of sequence.
out of sequence.
Dreadful.
That is horrible. So I think it will go Matt Smith, Capaldi,
Matt Smith again.
Smith. Yeah.
Then
I
I'm
think
gonna
it
say-
should go the whole of RTD.
I'm gonna go Hartnell. No, I'm gonna go Hartnell.
Hartnell. Well, yeah.
I think it's good. It's brilliant for the time, but in reality, if we're comparing it to others, it's not as good as those because it's an older one.
Yeah, I could agree with that then. And then
I'm gonna go Hartnell.
I think then it will go with RTD. As much
Yeah.
as I like the colourful time vortex.
No, you know what? Actually, I can almost say 8th Doctor before RTD because although the theme's fucking brilliant, title sequence not so good.
I like how it goes into the story though. Like,
Yeah. So
But
That
The
technically,
TARDIS
if
is a
it
bit
wasn't for
dated.
that, we wouldn't have the RTD sequence.
Well, yeah, we will, because the tunnel's in the Fourth Doctor,
Oh
which
yeah.
is what RTD said it's based on, so you can shut the fuck up.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Knowledge, but okay. I'll let McGann go there. I like how it leaks into the episode, but
Then RTD.
right. Are we going on intros based on faces, or are we just going to sum up the 4th, 5th, and 6th on their own? Right, shall we stop whilst this ice cream van passes? I'm just going to leave that in. I think we should leave that in.
Oh.
Yeah.
But anyway, should we sum up 4, 5, and 8?
4
8
and
is
5 are the
themes.
same. 6 is its own thing. 7 is its own thing. What 2 is its own thing. 3 is its own thing. 3 again is its own thing. The second half. 4th is its own thing.
Right. After RTD, I think it should go. Maybe
5th and 4th.
5th and 4th. Sorry, I'm trying to think, but all I could hear was children screaming outside the house window.
Alfie's normal day.
He's just hearing children screaming.
He loves them children.
After that, I think it would go.
So after 5th and 4th. 6th, because it's pretty much the same thing, but
Yeah.
with more colour, so it's a bit better.
Yeah, and then I think it would go 3rd Doctor, late,
Late 3rd.
and then Troughton. Would it go late 3rd Doctor,
Late 3rd, and then I'm gonna say 4th.
and then Troughton?
Nope.
Really?
Then
Don't you dare say 7.
No, then I'm gonna say 3rd.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna say 2nd, and then 7th.
Right. I agree with that. But wait, is 7th the first then?
Yeah.
Good.
Well,
'Cause I think
that's facts. That's just facts.
7th is the CGI's off, but if you've watched like
We
that's
should
the
make a video
80s.
of the 7th Doctor's theme. The title, I should say, with the 8th Doctor's theme.
Yes. I think visually it's like going on a separate Doctor Who adventure.
Well, yeah. I mean, minus the crumpled paper, it stands up pretty damn well.
Like, have you saw the reconstruction or the whatever
Yeah,
it's called,
by,
revamp?
Dave Burgess, was it?
I think.
Yeah,
but it's
That is beautiful.
literally that.
Although,
just think about what they were going for.
The paper now is changed to cocoa rocks.
But I love it, like how it just brings you into the adventure. You see the TARDIS, you see the Doctor, you see space, you see the right.
It's
I don't want to get onto the logo. The logo, I don't mind, but I know you two. I don't think you're big fans of it.
I
either.
I preferred it with time because I've seen how bad it could have been. New logo, but
Yeah.
I
I
quite
think-
like it.
I
think it's
like
funky.
it because now I know about the 80s. It is so 80s.
It
Yeah.
is.
It is
It's just
so
the way it says
80s.
Who, and then you have Doctor written above it. I love that.
Yeah.
It's like a sitcom or a soap opera from the time.
I think it just
Yeah.
brings the show together and it gives it a nice little look. And I like the purple, the dark blues, all
Yeah,
the nice colours. I love it.
It's very spacey.
Like as much as I love other themes like the 3rd Doctor's colourful one and the 6th Doctor's colourful one, I love 7. If you haven't guessed
yeah.
already.
The second Doctor, can we just say, which is second, is fucking brilliant.
Yes, his face appearing all the different sort of shapes.
It's known as the spangle effect. That's what it's known as now.
Yeah, imagine if
And
that was in colour.
I'm
Imagine
gonna
how
say,
cool that would have
The
looked.
beginning of that with I don't even know what the shape would be, is honestly like it's the second Doctor's stuck in my mind the most for the Doctor I'd never saw any of other than the Invasion
Yeah.
as a kid.
I can
Yeah. I
tell
love
you
how-
one thing though. I know we've rated the first Doctor one quite low, but how iconic is just that slow creeping white line slowly
Yeah.
going up.
And can we just say we don't hate any of these except for Matt Smith's first one.
And
Other than that,
Series
we love all
7.
these. You know, same with the themes.
Yeah,
Other than the bottom couple, I like the rest.
yeah, definitely agreed.
And I'm hoping this new one. Yeah, we can talk about the new one now. What we want from it. Basically, the new one, you get something called the 8th Doctor's theme, and you get something called the 7th Doctor's sequence. You put them together, you mash them together nicely, you revamp them both, maybe give the 8th Doctor's one a bit more depth, a bit more of an instrument, a bit more boom, and there's your sequence.
And replace Jodie's face with Sylvester's, obviously. Well, actually, don't. Just say Sylvester's the Doctor again.
No, do Jodie's face, but like faded at one side to give it a nice arty effect.
Yeah.
And no, who would
Paint
complain
her
about
face
that?
silver.
Who was going to complain that they're reusing a theme that's brilliant and was underused?
Mhm.
I
I
wouldn't.
just want to see some space. I want to see space. Then it goes into the time vortex, and then it comes out to like alien worlds and shit.
You
and
know
it
what would
goes
be
to
nice?
Omega.
If it start, you know how Red Dwarf starts with the ship moving?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it starts with
Yeah,
the
Yeah. Do you know
duh.
in like Fourth Doctor era there was that shot of the TARDIS that was just sort of coming towards the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. That shot, that exact shot, you take that and then it cuts into the theme and you see the new TARDIS.
Yeah, I would love that.
Or you do that TARDIS doing the same thing to
Mhm.
silence and then into the theme.
Mhm.
That'd be brilliant. Or just for the first episode do that, but I think that'd be fucking great.
I think we're gonna have a lot of pre-title scenes.
We should
So-
never have any pre-title stuff.
I like pre-title stuff because it gets you into. I like where it's like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm the Slovene. Like, I like that.
I think the pre-title sequence, if it's going to be one, should be the scariest shit ever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Rise
Really get the kids pooing themselves.
talking about the episode we're going to be reviewing, Rise of the Cybermen. I think that's a great use of the pre-title sequence.
Just a bit. When we get, this is a good place to stop this. So that's
Yeah.
been a good topic. I think we've enjoyed that. Now we're going to move on to our review of Rise of the Cybermen: Age
Yeah,
of Steel.
And before
Cue
we
some
move
music.
on,
Oh wait.
sorry, Luke. Before we move on, put your top 13 themes and sequences in one, or just your top 13 intros, and we'll have a look at them. So we'll see you in the episode review.
I'm London's most wanted target. Yeah, they were deliberate. I was fighting the system. Fuck anyway. That's
So this week's review is Rise of the Cybermen: Age of Steel, a two-parter from Series 2 back in 2006, written by Tom.
I'll have it somewhere. Let me just.
A
have it.
person and directed by Graham Harper, one of the legendary Doctor Who directors who directed such classics as The Caves and Dazani. The writer was
I've got it somewhere. It's really annoying me. Oh, here we are. Let me have a look. Oh, where is it? It is somewhere. It's somewhere in these words.
This is a great start.
yeah,
I know,
this is
it's
going
a-
well.
Fantastic start.
Oh, your dad's got a bike. What is this? The Colin Spional
Stop looking at my right
RTD. RTD carries Wiles. 10 is an arse.
Stop! I'm looking for his name.
And Mark Platt, what did he do in this? As like story wise, did he help? Wait, what?
Forgot I was
Mark,
sharing
Mark
screen.
Platt. Mark Platt had involvement in this. Who's like the second best writer for, or
It's going
well,
well, this.
director for Simon after Kit
Mark-
Pedal.
Mark Platt.
Mark Platt, yeah, he had involvement in this. He's one of the original
What
sort
episodes did he write?
of. He wrote Ghost.
Who wrote it? Write it. Tom McCary.
There we are. I knew we would
That-
find it.
That was not needed.
No,
There we go.
okay.
Right.
Do
Anything
you want
else?
to
Do some
start?
magic.
Just start from the beginning. Just start from
Yeah.
the top.
So, our review for this week is Rise of the Cybermen: Age of Steel, written by Tom McCary, directed by Graham Harper, the brilliant Doctor Who director who directed stuff like The Cage and Dazani, and of course, some of my more favourites from Series 2, Doomsday. Anyway, this one for me is very nostalgic, one of my first ever Doctor Who stories, has the best new series Cyberman design in, has some cracking moments, has some moments which I've learned now that aren't so good, but still is a solid 2 episodes of New Who, and certainly some of the best stuff in Series 2. It's not quite, I'd say in retrospect, it isn't the Satan Pit, but my God, is it better than some of it? For me, it probably still is up there in Series 2 and the whole of the new series as top episodes. But anyway, let's get into it. So for me, these episodes, episode 2 is 100 times better than episode 1 because there's more Cybermen, and that's a fact.
Agreed.
Episode 1, I've learnt that the first 10 minutes is some of the worst acting David Tennant and Billy Piper have ever done in Doctor Who.
Agreed.
I will go into that.
It
That
is
is some of the worst part of the
Genuinely took
episode.
me back. Noel Clark's okay throughout the whole thing, but at the start, especially Tennant, just mood shifts really quickly from what the fuck, what he's like bipolar at the start.
Oh,
He's like, what the fuck's going on?
The only consistent good actor is Mickey Noel Clark.
Mm.
Yeah, agreed.
While they're going throughout the whole thing and actors in it, I think really consistent good actors is all the supporting cast. The supporting cast in this episode are great. The person who plays Jake and
Pete Tyler is quite good. I don't mind.
Pete
John
Tyler,
Lumick.
John Lumick's good. His friend, who he wasn't the person who plays the friend of John Lumick in the Revelation of the Daleks.
It's Colin Spawn. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I think he's in Revelation of the Daleks.
Yeah, he is. He's one of the funeral directors.
Yeah, there we go.
Ah.
Yes, he's really good in it. I think also we need to say Noel Clark's, when he is acting as the doppelganger, or the parallel version of him, is great acting. Because you really believe it's a different person, even though it's the same. I think, and the way what I don't like about it, though, is how, for a cheap joke, he's now not London's Most Wanted. He's London's Most Wanted for parking tickets.
I love that line.
It's good, but it kind of thinks he's built up to. I mean, but you think in a parallel universe somewhere, Mickey is a badass, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of made that thing. Oh, Mickey's just that. He was like the Rory, you know. Never could be too.
The
too
tin dog.
good. But there we go. Yeah, but I think Noel Clark's.
Alfie, what was that?
What do you think it was?
It was a hamburger.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, but Noel Clark does a really good performance. I think another problem I have with this episode is the changes in actual quality of the camera. They'll be sitting down on a bench and the 10th Doctor will get up and all of a sudden it's really grainy and it's all dark.
Mm-hmm.
There's some problems, but saying that, there is also some great direction in this episode. At the start in episode 1, where you don't see the Cybermen at all, where you just see their feet marching and all that kind of stuff, it is brilliantly done. On some of, really good direction, of course, with it being Graham Harbour.
Yeah, the direction in this is quite good.
I think the set dressing as well, to give this parallel London, is brilliant. Subtle changes here and there.
President.
And also, can I just say the Zeppelins stand up pretty well?
Yeah, my first point is the CGI is not too bad.
Yeah. And of course, the pre-title sequence for episode 1 is... It's an interesting one. It's one that really doesn't really set too much up if you don't know much about Doctor Who, but if you know a lot, it's very exciting, especially if you were watching this live as it went out.
I think this is a very atmospheric pre-title sequence. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
It is certainly one of the better ones out of the new series, because there has been some dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't remember many pre-title sequence stuff.
To be honest, this and Doomsday are the only ones I can really remember. Oh, and Satan Pit.
Satan Pit has a good one, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does. It has
with
the We Will Feed.
Yeah, We Will Feed. They're really good. But then after that... Series 3, Family of Blood.
Yeah.
That's a good pre-title sequence. Struggling now.
Does Blink have one? Blink has one.
Yeah. Isn't that Sally Sparrow breaking in?
Yeah, and then it's like, and then after it's her going home to meet naked another guy.
Yeah. Nah, I don't like... Yeah, but Blink's the most overrated episode of Doctor Who in history,
Yeah,
so...
that's fair.
It's the best episode ever.
Aside from Genesis.
Have you watched something called Genesis of the Daleks, or Pyramids of Mars, or Spearhead from
Genesis
Space, or Talons of
is
Enchanting, or Gaze of Androzani, or Vengeance on the Virus?
Agreed.
Or every Sylvester episode.
Or have you watched something called Series 2? Which is underrated as hell. Everyone says it's the worst. It's
I love Series 2.
But Series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the best. You don't get better than that, in my opinion, for New Who. They never will top that in this run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think from Series 1 to 4... No, yeah.
5 is a standout, though, for me.
I'm not too big on 5. I find that slightly overrated, but I think we should get onto that in another episode.
Yeah, but with this is 5, this is all about 2 and Raz Simon. So that's my sort of piece on episode 1. And also I think the way this is done, sometimes the emotions in this episode is to the points of a soap. Like I try to say is, if you flicked over to the channel, would you know this is Doctor Who? And I think the scenes at the end of episode 1 where they're talking about where Rose is talking to her parallel mother and father, it is really like a soap, especially when she talks to Jackie's parallel self. It is just like something in EastEnders, isn't it?
There's some
Yeah,
cringe-worthy moments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really don't like that moment. You just starve. It's like, oh my god. And, like the drop
Agreed.
in quality doesn't help there. It really looks like a soap opera. But then you also have some really good emotion, like Mickey and his grandmother, which is just brilliant. You know, I think it flashes Mickey's character out because we never really knew anything about him until at this point.
Lennon!
And it gives him a lot. It gives him, you know, I guess I don't know what it gives him, but it gives him
Pizzazz.
pizzazz. And I think his reason for leaving in this story, you know, saying, well, my grand's here, it just shows how much he meant to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you, Alfie, then? You want to talk a bit about the story?
Right. I've made a little list of stuff to say. Firstly,
Of course he has.
I
For
always
fuck's sake.
do. 10 is an absolute arse in Rise of the Cybermen. Like, I find Tom McCree is more of a companion writer because he wrote The Girl Who Waited. That's obviously more for the companions, and Matt's the 11th Doctor in that is a bit of an arse. And he also wrote one of the unproduced episodes called Century House, which was going to focus on Donna, but I'll go into that in a second.
That sounds like it would be a mix between Turn Left and Silence of the Library.
Oh, I'll tell you what it is when I get to a certain point. But the Doctor, I wouldn't have expected the Doctor to be so rude to a companion. Again, Mickey's fantastic with his nan. He's parallel Ricky. Lumic is no Tobias Vaughan, but he's a decent cyber
I think
starter.
it's unfair to compare him to Tobias Vaughan because Tobias Vaughan is in something called The Invasion, which will never, ever, 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 ever be topped. So
But it is a
that's like comparing Pertwee's era to anyone else's era. You're never going to top it, so why bother?
But he's a nice start to the Cyberman
No,
plot.
well, I ain't calling him bad. He's brilliant. He is second to Tobias Vaughan, but that's no question. You're never going to beat Tobias Vaughan.
Right. At one of the points, I literally, whilst watching this episode, I've decided that RTD is the best showrunner. Like in the new series, sorry.
Yeah.
For one reason is that he carries on plots, even though not a series arc like Rosie's dad. And although it is a bit soap opera-y, I quite like the Rosie's dad plot, even though I don't like Rose.
I like it. It's just at times. Also, something else I want to mention is the person who plays the President of the United Kingdom does a fantastic job. He is probably... He has one of the smaller parts in the episode. He's only in the first one, of course, because zapped is the way of putting it. And he is awesome in it. He doesn't say much, but when he does, it means a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he's a man of few words.
Now, I've got a problem with the title of the first episode. Right. If it weren't called Rise of the Cybermen and the first episode was actually called Age of Steel, like if you swap them two ones around, it would so much be better to have that big reveal.
Agreed. Yeah.
The beginning of the Lumic Cybermen is very well thought out, but it's really predictable with the name.
Well, they could have called it something like The Future and then The End.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something really, because the Invasion, look at the great Cybermen stories. They don't have Cybermen in their name.
I know.
Moonbase, 10th Planet, The Invasion. Pretty much. I mean, too much
Silver
Cybermen.
Nemesis.
You can't. Silver Nemesis. Earthshock, again, another one.
The reveal would have been better without that name.
I think, really, you should just not even announce having the Cyberman back.
I
Because
think they should have surprised it.
Stomping is found in this episode. It's the first time they stomped. To me, Cybermen always stomped. There was never a time when Cybermen didn't stomp. You know what I mean? Like, these were the first time you saw them, you thought, oh, Cybermen always stomp then.
Oh, yeah.
And some people don't like it. I personally do. It makes it... how heavy do they look?
This is the only episode I allow the stomping because I think it adds to like the industrial sort of atmosphere. Like there's a lot of industry like references. It's a lot of, it's a gloomy place run by industry again, and it gives it a metally sort of strong sound.
Yeah. But this thing that the new series is really well polished, and nothing's wrong with it, and everything's perfect. Watch the sort of last few scenes of the first episode where they're in the house when the Cybermen attack and they're just standing there. Look at the masks. So many are slanted and sort of tilted in that.
I think
And
that gives it like a bit of a,
Yeah.
classic series
But
had that.
This supposed thing that the new series is so much better than the classic series having good effects.
Oh, true.
It still has the things that the classic series had, which was sideways masks, not quite good. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the new series. I would rather have the Spearhead from space less in consciousness rather than the big orange gunky one. Then we have Colin Spall's character, which I forgot the name of. He's a good character. Again, fun fact, funeral director from Revelation. But the way when he's meant to be shown as like crazy, like he masks the screams of the cyber conversion within the jungle.
I love that.
That's great, but why isn't his like craziness carried on? I would have loved to see him like just be insane.
I think because he had to be killed off because it wouldn't make sense if he'd been kept alive. So they had to...
Just in between the killing, like
Yeah.
in between the jungle bit and the killing, you should have more scenes of him just being insane.
I think that his best moment though is when he's got all the tramps to go inside, and then he just goes, "Take him away."
Yeah,
Just dead behind. Just take him away. It is brilliant.
I want to see more of that, but yeah, we didn't get to it.
I think really with this, you could do a lot of expanded universe stuff. You know what I mean? Like before, him creating the cyber industries, becoming, working with him, working with Pete Tyler. Pete Tyler feeding stuff to the preachers.
Mm-hmm.
It has that possibility. It could have a really good novel written about before it.
Yeah, prequel.
Mhm.
I mentioned this to Lennon, and he said it should have really happened. You know how in the 10th Planet, it was set in 1986, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that story, a Mars probe doesn't make it to Mars, yeah? It gets blown up.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah?
sure.
Yeah, it's blown up, because the two astronauts die. Wouldn't it have been great if, when Rose's phone connects, she gets a news flash, 30th anniversary of Mars probe, whatever it was, reaching Mars. Because Mondas didn't happen in this universe.
Mhm.
Would have been cool if instead of blowing up, it turns out they just went into that dimension and they just come crashing down.
Mhm.
Just,
Yeah.
Rose, what's that in the sky? What? Mars probe?
But that could have been a really cool reference because no one would have got it who didn't
Exactly.
know. I think it would have been really clever.
Now, the writer for this, was again very companion based. He's wrote the very central focus on her dad. Again, he wrote the girl who wrote who focuses on Amy and Rory, and again he made the unmade episode called Century House, which was the Donna and the Doctor in a Ghost Hunter TV show, whilst Donna watches at home and he's on the phone to the Doctor, guiding him along where he should go.
Mhm.
It'd be a twist. Again, that was meant to be which I would have liked to see, but we didn't see. Then here's the thing that Luke leaked of my notes, or I think RTD era has got some really funny lines, and it's not forced innuendo like Moffat, and it makes every time you rewatch it, you spot something else, and it's fun to watch them. You spot different lines, whereas in Moffat, he forces it on you, forces innuendo on you.
It's like laugh.
Yeah,
whereas laugh.
That one, it's really sort of like, how he's from a parallel universe, or your dad's got a bike, which I thought was fantastic. And it just lets the characters in his era be much more wittier and much better than Moffat era characters. And at the end of episode 1, we have I'm just going to say useless reveal of the Cybermen. But it has a brilliant cliffhanger, like the
You
series.
say useless, but I still like that reveal with the Doctor at the window.
Mhm.
I think it's good because you haven't seen their face at that point.
Yeah.
I like that.
No.
I always liked that as a kid.
Again, I just want to say the Stompy Cyberman, I personally think it works only in this episode because it adds an like aesthetic.
It works in Doomsday. It works in Doomsday.
Okay, it works in series 2. It has an aesthetic of industry, steel, metal, and also we have that again cringeworthy Stenders moments. Also, I think this Cyberman design should have only been in the RTD era because this design sticks till
God, yeah.
2012. Then Moffat stolen, but just removed the Cyber slogan. Like, why would the Cybermen in our universe look like that if that's a parallel
Exactly.
version? Like,
I think we didn't have a Cyberman story for a long time. It was Series 7, one of Series 6 actually closed the time. And you could argue in closing time they've come from the parallel universe because they're knackered.
yeah.
But in A Good Man Goes to War, you have no excuse.
I don't get it. Why is the one look like the one from Next Doctor? That's explained by the Cybermen there. Like, I don't get it, but again, they look robotic and strong
I mean,
and
you could have had
dominating.
the 80s Cyberman.
Oh, that would have been great.
I mean, Moffat's all for this classic stuff. If you brought back an 80s design, I'd be all for that.
It just says excellent. Then we get the Electro hands. I'm guessing that started off in Moonbase.
Yeah, but it didn't kill. It didn't kill on contact. It just knocked you out.
Then we have the teardrop eyes from Wheel, and then
Yeah.
It's
got everything a good Cyberman design has, other than they're a bit fatter this time when they stomp.
Yeah, I think
The handle's got an interesting face, teardrop, expressionless face other than the teardrop. I wish there'd been a thing though about it, considering he's designing the Cybermen, about why they have the teardrop. We should have had something about that. God knows what it'd be, but you could have done something there.
And then I think part 2 is sort of. Oh, Luke, do you want to talk about part 2 before we carry on? Or Len, does Len want to talk about episode 1?
Because part 2 was always the one I enjoyed more as a kid. Now, you call me simple, but I like this episode because there's lots of Cybermen and they do a lot of attacking. It's very fun. It's a fun episode to watch. Because there's nothing more interesting than watching Cybermen chase the Doctor around London. I mean, that's fun. That's the whole sequence with them running. There's the scene where Ricky dies, and there's a really emotional scene when Jake just looks at Mickey like he's a piece of shit. And I think Jake is a quite an underrated character, I think. Considering he's only in this and Doomsday, yeah, he's pretty damn good. You know, they could have done. You know, has Big Finish ever picked up anything with Jake?
Don't know.
He could have been in Torchwood. He could have been in Torchwood, yeah, because he fits that thing, doesn't he, Jake? But yeah, the Cyberman stomping around is really good. I think the scene where the chest unit is removed by the Doctor to see the flesh, that's quite good. And the emotional inhibitor breaks. I think, you know, those scenes, there's some really good scenes. When I think also the final few scenes, not the goodbye scenes, the scene on the ladder, even to this day, gets me a bit tense. You know, and I've seen this episode countless times, yet it still builds attention perfectly.
Yeah, I always think, is he going to get up? And
yeah, even though I know what happens.
Yeah, and every scene with the Cybermen's head, and they all get their emotional inhibitor thing.
That's really great. The controller design is different.
Yeah.
Before the brain thing was overused.
Oh, that's used to hell.
It should have only been used this once, never again. Because it made sense. You know, in a way. Whereas now, in the next Doctor, it's like, why?
Wait,
why is this brain show?
The brain show in?
Yeah, the Cyberlord. Yeah.
And then again in A Good Man Goes to War.
They just
it's like
they used it without explanation.
It's I don't know, but it's a cool figure. To be fair, I like that cyber control. To be fair, it kind of links it with the design because his whole face is black. You know, he's almost his entire head is black, and I think it's different to just black handles. But also an interesting thing in this, does anyone notice that you see the Cybermen with arm guns? Yeah, you know what happens is, you know, in the factory scenes where it zooms out, there's loads of zooming in. You see 3 Cybermen turn around.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
And I remember
Yeah.
seeing that as a kid, and I think it's how good does that? No, but you wouldn't notice that if you watched it the first time. And how well does that link into Doomsday? Because it show. I mean, I'm assuming that's version 2 then, and the originals didn't have the arm gun. Therefore, the ones that are chasing, the ones that were already there, don't have the arm guns. But all these ones that are being turned into Cybermen do, but they aren't released yet because they're just put to hiding. Get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Because those Cybermen in the tunnels when they're running through, when they come to life, they could have arm guns. You wouldn't know.
That's again a tense scene.
Yeah, I like that scene. I think the best thing about that scene is they've moved, and you're just waiting. But can I just say what is a really cool thing about that is when they trigger it, all of a sudden Cyberman there at the computer like that. What's happened? Another one comes in. What's going on? And I never remembered that scene as a kid. But really, it's cool because it shows the Cybermen they've taken over. There is no one controlling them now. They're there at their post. Something's gone wrong. Kill them. Sound. You know, really sort of machine-like now. I think it's a nice touch. But can we also just say, of all the games on the Doctor Who site that came out of this, well, there was the Cyberman Invasion one. I guess the Lords of Cybermen was kind of Doomsday. There was the Zeppelin one. And that's probably about all I'll say on it, I think, with this. What about you? You got anything else to say, you two?
So the Doctor luckily keeps the TARDIS peace and kills all the Cybermen. I think the 10th Doctor gets a bit better in this episode. And then it gets into the build-up. The parking ticket line was really witty and fantastic, and all the van stuff is decent. And after, we get more action. And I think this episode would be really good as a director's cut on Blu-ray, and you probably could pass it as a movie.
Oh, usually.
Yeah, and I like Series 2, which I know is an opinion which is going to get shunned by a lot of fans. And 10 is...
fuck 'em. Well, right.
Yeah, 10 is not my favourite Doctor, but I love all the episodes. They're fun, they're a laugh, even Fearhead.
No.
Which, you know... This series brought back the Cybermen, which is great. This series has new monsters, good writing, good plots, good characters, character development, and it's an overall great RTD series with a load of great episodes, including this one. So I think this is one of the most underrated series of all time.
It's up there with 9 and definitely Colin's first one, for sure.
Yeah, and it's a shame to see Ricky to go, and this lead into the splitting of Rose and Mickey. And can I say how intense to this day that scene is, where Ricky's running from the Cybermen down the alleyway?
Oh, you are doing what Mickey's doing, and you are shouting, come on.
Yeah, my heart literally races every time I see it. Like, I root for him, even though I know he's not going to make it.
It just shows how well directed it is. Because you can hear the Cybermen constantly coming closer and closer.
Yeah, and they just walk, which is even worse, because literally they're walking and they catch up with him. I think the only time a Cyberman has ever ran is Nightmare in Silver, and we don't want to talk about that.
Running Cybermen. I'm just thinking if we ever saw one in that Tomb. Did they kind of run a bit in Tomb?
Yeah.
Well,
not so much a run, more of a quick walk into it or a jump.
Speed walk.
In Moonbase, they do try and run, but on the moon, but they've also got no gravity. But it does look like they're running.
Yeah. Then we have Mickey staring at them, trying to look if they feel anything after killing Ricky, and they just stare motionlessly, and the Cybermen just blankly stare at him, and then Mickey runs. This is also one of the greatest side characters you root for, and Jake's reaction is heartbreaking. And personally,
I said shut it.
Pardon?
That's what he said, Jake. Shut it. I said shut it.
Oh yeah, you know he's gonna cry to sleep. But personally, I thought Jake and Ricky had a secret relationship. I thought they was together. That's some partner mourning there. And why would he take off Mickey's clothes and undress him? He says it's for bugs. I don't think so. But anyway, I hate how the 10th was like, oh, we can mourn later.
Yeah, but that must be a callback to the
Earthshock.
time flight.
Time flight part.
Oh, well, He wouldn't want us to mourn him unnecessarily.
I hate that line. That's horrible.
I don't mind it.
Ew.
Oh, no, sorry, it's the Fifth Doctor. Oh, well. He won't want us to mourn him unnecessarily. Sorry, I forgot that.
You sound like Jake and Ricky after their lovemaking. The finale is great and tense with the blimp scene, the great exposed brain, Cyberleader before it's overused. We have the phone scene with the emotional inhibitor, which I think is probably a really well directed scene.
I'm so sorry.
That is an overused line in the future. Then, again, to this day, it's tense to see that Cyberleader climbing up the ladder.
Can I just say as well, the Cyberleader in that light looks really good.
Yeah, with the light up eyes. It's fantastic.
You're kind of rooting for him as well a little bit.
You're like, I just want to see Pete die. But then, he falls into the flames, and then we have Mickey departing at the end.
I would have loved if it actually, because Moffat would check, if it actually destroyed the rope, the wood of the ladder.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
then Moffat's line doesn't work on wood. Would have been blown out of the water, and that would have been great.
Oh, I hate that. Wait, when was it first introduced that it doesn't work on wood?
Hungry Earth.
Was it?
Was
No,
Was it-
Library 2-parter.
Oh yeah, actually,
Oh
you
my
might be
God.
right. You might be right with that.
Well,
Hungry
did
Earth
he-
is the earliest I can remember, but I haven't seen Silence in ages, so you could be right with that.
No, I'm right, because where they're running down the library corridor and the lights are going out, and it's
And
like, it
she's like-
doesn't work on wood.
And she's like, "What? You made a sonic screwdriver that doesn't work on wood. Let me kick it down." And she kicks it
Yeah.
down.
Mhm.
But then we see Mickey depart because we know he deserves better than that bitch Rose. And then he returns in Doomsday. So overall, I gave
Can
it.
we just say about the last lines in this episode? You know all these Cybermen factories? Do you think there's one in Paris? Yeah. Let's go liberate Paris. What? Me and you? In a van? I won't save the world in the back of a yellow truck. It is such a good... when your films end with really good one-liners?
Yeah.
It is like one of those.
And
Such a good ending.
they just want to date in Paris.
I
But
think
yeah,
Doomsday.
overall,
You could watch this and watch Doomsday, and you don't need to know anything that's happened in between.
yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Because it even says in Doomsday they've had adventures since.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you get like all the, "Oh mother, I bought you an acorn that can tell the weather."
Oh yeah.
You get all that, and she's like, "Oh."
That's why I love
Anyway,
Doomsday.
it's a
Stuff
7
like
out
that.
a 7 out of 10 from me, and it's an average, nearly well written episode. So I'll let
In
Lennon.
series two's rankings, where would you put it?
Oh, it's up there.
Not all the series, but like, is it top?
It's very near the top. I wouldn't say it's the top because I've got a bit of a love for the Ood two-parter.
Well, I think no matter what, everyone loves Satan Pit.
But I don't know because I think all the episodes in series 2 are really underrated, like New Earth.
Tooth and Claw. Tooth and Claw, man. That
I
is.
love New Earth. We've got to review
New
New Earth.
Earth. Yeah, we've got it. We'll get. I'll get my brother in. It's a New Earth. He really likes that one. Tooth and Claw is a brilliant episode. The school reunion I really like. Girl in the Fireplace.
Fantastic. Oh, Girl in the Fireplace. People say it's overrated. I love it.
Idiot's Lantern is magnificent.
I
No!
did not know it was a bad episode. I thought everyone loved it. I love it.
Do people not like it?
Yeah, people hate it.
What?
I love the lines where it's like, how did you know all the stuff about the Union Jack? Oh, my mum dated a sailor. Oh, I knew she would.
What?
And yeah, everyone hates it apparently. Everyone rates it like 1.
I'm shocked.
I know. I was speechless when I found out. I love that episode.
Also, we've got the other great, which is kind of on my Love and Monsters, and I am not joking there. I love Love and
underrated.
Monsters.
It's underrated.
It is great because I never used to get it when I was a kid, but I still liked it. And now watching it, I've spoken about this before, but fuck it, we're doing it more. It's on about when you become friends with someone over a subject. So this one is Doctor Who, technically. All they spoke about was Doctor Who at the start. And then they got a bit more personal, and that's kind of what happened with us three. All we spoke about was Doctor Who.
Yep.
And then we talk about other stuff, and now we're just really good friends. So it's so relatable in that factor. And plus, it's got Peter Kane, one of my favourite comedians of all time.
I feel bad. I think we're just going into a Love and Monsters review now, aren't we?
Maybe not straight away, because we don't want to overdo the new series, but
Yeah.
certainly Love and Monsters would be one for us to defend, because we love that story. But anyway,
I think for one of the weeks, or one of the months, we could have a little defending month where we get episodes we all want to defend. Another
Time Monster, full one.
Yeah.
No.
This episode's a bloody good Doctor Who.
So I think we should get back to the episode we're meant to be reviewing.
So for me, well, Lennon, what are your rating's going to be? I'll do mine last.
Well, I do. Part 2 is better. I used to give both. Well, I used to give both an 8, but I think they're both now 7.5 out of 10. Not as good as I remember them, but they are one of my favourites in the new series. So it's a 7.5. Both of them.
For me,
they're mid-average.
Yeah, for me, it's an 8 on episode 1 and a 9 on episode 2. Yes, they could be seen as a little bit too high, but you know what? I don't care because I love these episodes, and I always come to rewatch when I watch a bit of the new series. Some of my go-to stuff, and the devil has appeared on my screen. Michael Gray. Anyway, that about does it from us for this week. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Hopefully, this has been. Please do say whether you think we're getting better, worse. You know, if this was better than last week's. Also, if you listen to the end. Say, don't say listen to the end in the comments. Please put the word pineapple. And we will then know you listened to the end. And if you have a YouTube channel, we will subscribe. We'll get you in a call if you want. If you've listened all the way to the end.
It's like a pervert.
Well, maybe not. But if you listened all the way to the end, we can't thank you enough because we obviously don't know who has listened all the way to the end. And this will be a way of proving it to us by saying pineapple.
Yeah, so... That's it from...
And if someone asks you why, don't tell them. Anyway, it's goodbye from
me, Alfie.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye.